All right, it's 35, and so we're gonna get started. I get to introduce myself because that's how I roll. And yeah, my name is Grace Naegle. Thank you for attending this webinar entitled Veterans In-State Service Shared Leave Program. It's me. I've been administering the program since its inception, so I know a lot about the program, and that is my background. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, where did my notes go? Great, there we go. All right, so let's go. Washington State has a variety of shared leave options that you can donate to or make use to if you are eligible. Basic shared leave, where donations go to a specific person. Uniform shared leave for state employees who are called to serve in the uniformed services. Foster parent shared leave for foster parents who take in new children to get situated, and veterans in-state service shared leave for veterans who need to take medical leave due to their service connected injuries. If you're watching this presentation, you are likely a veteran, or you know somebody who is a veteran. You probably know somebody who's a veteran who's also a state worker. You may also be a champion of veterans who might want to know this information. For whatever reason you're here watching this presentation, it is going to give you a glimpse as to what VISSLP is and how it can help state employees who are also veterans. Oh, you did not move. Come on, dude. There we go. Okay, because this program is a program for all state employees, not just DVA employees, but all state employees, including higher education staff. All of the information I am sharing with you can be found on DVA's outward-facing site, which is dva.wa.gov. So when you get to that front page, you click on For Veterans, service members and their families, and then you hover over veterans benefits, scroll all the way down, and click on Veterans In-State Service Shared Leave Program. When you click that, you will get this page. All of the information that you hear today can be found on the right side of the page in the section in the little blue box that was dancing. The website doesn't have a dancing blue box. That's just for you. That is a perk of this presentation. Below the blue box, if you were to scroll down, you would also find statistics about how VISSLP donations are being used to help our veterans and how much money and how many hours have been given to our veterans for their service-connected disabilities. This information is also updated annually. You can also see that it shows who the top contributors are based on the number of donations and based on the dollar amount. So if you're outside DVA and you'd like to be competitive, I'm an extremely competitive person. You can gamify this and be like, oh no, we're Washington State University. We need more donations. I don't think anybody does, but in my brain, that's what people are doing. So this slide provides the purpose as to why VISSLP was created according to the RCW, or the Revised Code of Washington. It is legalese, but in plain talk, VISSLP was created because we understand that when you hold the status of a veteran, that inherently means that you have likely been evaluated to have disabilities that are related to the time that you served in the military. And because of these service-connected disabilities, you, as a veteran, probably need to attend more medical appointments than the average state employee in order for you to maintain your health. When a veteran is low on leave, they shouldn't have to choose between attending their service-connected medical appointments or their PT or their mental health, any of those service-connected things, or keeping a bank of leave to use when they experience the same type of sickness that any other state employee would have, or to go on vacations just like every other state employee. They shouldn't have to make that choice. In order to be eligible to receive VISSLP, you have to be a state employee who is a veteran and they are attending medical appointments or on recovery due to your service-connected disability. That doesn't mean that this leave is for any of your sicknesses or recovery. It has to be connected to your time in the military. Or if you are a state employee and your spouse is a veteran and you need to care for your spouse while they are going to their medical appointments or they're on recovery due to their service-connected disability, even if you're not a veteran, but your spouse is a veteran, you may also be eligible for this leave. Another eligibility requirement is that you have used up your personal holiday, and both your sick leave and your vacation leaves must be below 40 hours. When one of those pop up above 40 hours, or you reaccrue your personal holiday, you are no longer eligible for VISSLP. You have to use your accrued leave so that they are below 40 hours. So here's the process to request leave. You need to provide these documents to your HR consultant: a completed recipient form, which we'll see in a later slide, a medical note which lists your injuries and the amount of time that you need to take leave. So a doctor's note saying they need to be gone from this day to this day. A summary of your benefits, which we will review later what that actually means, but the summary of benefits has to list what your service-connected disabilities are. And then a discharge document, which is typically your DD Form 214. So I talked about the summary of benefits, what that actually looks like. Oh, so you provide each of those documents to your HR, or if you work here at DVA, you provide that to VISSLP. Your HR will then give it to me if you're outside of DVA. So the summary of benefits example, it has to list what your service-connected disabilities are. The reason for that is because we're going to look at your doctor's note and it says they are being seen, or like they need to go to PT for their left hip. And this document on the left says there's a left hip strain. That's their service-connected disability. So we can say PT for the left hip, service-connected disability, left hip. All right, they're being seen for a service-connected disability. Or like right down here, it lists everything. What their service-connected disabilities are. You do not have to, when you submit your summary of benefits like this, you don't have to leave everything else, like all your service-connected disabilities listed. This person right here, the one on the left, they redacted all of their other service-connected disabilities except for this left hip strain. That is totally fine. We do need, like, I redacted their name for their privacy, but we do need a document that says your name. But if you want to redact and get rid of everything else except what the pertinent service-connected disability is, that is totally fine. A lot of people, I'm pointing this out because a lot of people try to turn in this summary of benefits, which makes complete sense because it says this letter is a summary of benefits. And they say, oh, you need to turn in a summary of benefits. Here's my summary of benefits. And it says 90%. That 90%, it doesn't tell me anything except for you are getting 90% of what you could be eligible for. It doesn't allow me or your HR professional to connect your doctor's note to your service-connected disabilities. So even though this says summary of benefits, we need the summary of benefits that lists what your service-connected disabilities are. So let's talk about the recipient form. Now, I know this looks really intimidating and it is a lot of fields, but when you turn this in, all you as an employee need to do is fill out the top part. The rest of it is filled in by HR and payroll. And again, it looks like a ton of signatures, but you need to fill it out, or a ton of signatures, a ton of fields, but you do need to fill it out completely because each of these fields tells me how much leave to give you. It tells me, it gives me a piece of information that allows me to distribute VISSLP to you. If the fields aren't filled in, then I'm going to kick it back to your HR professional and say, I need XYZ filled out. So yes, there are a lot of fields, but each field is referenced by me or by VISSLP to determine your eligibility, the amount of leave you may be eligible, and how to get the funds to your agency. Oh, I do want to point out down here at the bottom, it says VISSLP does not pay leave retroactively. This completed form and all required attachments must be sent to VISSLP by payroll day 3 of the first requested day in order to be reviewed for eligibility. I don't go backwards. VISSLP doesn't go backwards and pay you for days that you have already been paid for. VISSLP is a proactive measure that you need to plan for, and you need to say, oh, I'm going to be out for these days and I'm running low on leave. I need to get all these forms in. So timeliness is really important. If you are close to that payroll day 3, when you turn in the forms, you may need to harass your HR department and say, hey, VISSLP needs this information. Okay, so common things that slow the process down. If the form isn't filled out fully, or if you don't give me that summary of benefits letter that delineates what your service-connected disabilities are. Reasons that your request may be denied either by HR or by me is if you have enough leave to cover your absence. Again, your sick leave and your vacation leave need to be below 40 hours. Or if you are a state employee and you are caring for somebody who is a veteran, but that person is not your spouse. I have had quite a few people reach out to me and say, hey, I work for the state and I am taking care of my parent or my child, and I need to take care of them for their service-connected appointments. Unfortunately, the RCW only allows for spouses. So let's look at some FAQs. What if the employee is a veteran, but the medical appointment they're going to doesn't appear to be service related? For example, if the employee is going in for a shoulder surgery, but the summary of benefits doesn't list a shoulder injury. Like if they're in the army, if you're in the military, you have done a ton of push-ups. Let's be real. I did have one veteran who came to me and was like, I'm doing shoulder surgery. It's because of all the push-ups that I did. And I looked at the summary of benefits and I was like, oh, the summary of benefits doesn't list anything about your shoulder. I couldn't give it to them because it's not documented as a service-connected disability. Now, if you go to your doctor and your doctor says, yeah, it's not listed as a service-connected disability, but clearly it is, and the doctor will write it and say this is because of their military service, I'm not going to argue with the doctor. But unless I have something in writing that allows that I can prove that the appointment you're going to and is connected to your service, you're not eligible for it, unfortunately. What if the employee has their DD Form 214, but there is no summary of benefits, either because they haven't been rated or maybe they're in the process of being rated? So if you're in the process of being rated, maybe because you're on terminal leave or something like that, so you're transitioning from active duty, or because you're requesting a reevaluation of your ratings, you can provide a compensation and pension exam. That's called a compensation and pension exam. You can provide the C&P letter to me that says you're being reevaluated. And even though, because you're being reevaluated and it's connected to your service, if I have that C&P letter, we'll cover it as long as you meet all the other requirements. What if you're not sure exactly how long you're going to be gone? Can we do an estimate? No, we need exact times that you're going to be gone. If you're going to an appointment and it lasts 45 minutes and it's twice a week for 6 weeks, like I can do the math. But if you're asking for 10 hours of future appointments, that you may need to go to, that's going to be denied. VISSLP is not distributed based on estimates. Part of the doctor's note should give the amount of time you're off, whether that's for a specific number of days or periodically. If the doctor's note says that they are out from 1 hour to 10 hours a week, that doctor's note is saying that definitely for an hour, maybe for 10 hours, I'm only going to give you an hour's worth, because that other 9 hours, who knows if you'll use it. But there is a truncated form that if you're using more leave than I have given you, there's a shortened form that you can say, hey, I need more leave, and we'll give you more leave. You're not can we request extra hours be given just in case? Nope, exact same thing. You can't request extra hours. It is based on actual time that you need to be out. This is because the program funding comes from your fellow state employees who have donated their own sick leave, their own vacation leave, taken away from their ability to do sick and vacation leave. So it's important that we respect them and their desire to help veterans by being a responsible steward of their donations. And any leave that is out there given to somebody just in case they may need it is leave that can't be used for somebody who actually does need it. What if an employee has been using their own leave, or they've been taking leave without pay for their service-connected appointments in the past when they would have been eligible for VISSLP? Can we retroactively request VISSLP? No, VISSLP is not for historical leave. Leave must be requested in the pay period that it's being used for anticipated appointments, not for past appointments. So it's really important that you request the leave before you take the leave. Are employees who have just been hired eligible for VISSLP, or is there a waiting period? Yes, newly hired employees who have not accrued any leave, you're our target audience, you're our target market. Continuity of care when you've gotten out of the service is important for every person, including veterans who have already given so much to our country. Just because you're starting a new job, it doesn't mean you don't need to continue your disability-related mental health appointments. It doesn't mean that your knee will suddenly stop working or stop hurting, or your physical therapy can pause. If you know you have upcoming appointments that need to be taken, don't wait until you have enough leave to take them. VISSLP is here for you as a new employee, so you don't have to make the choice between taking leave without pay or going to your service-connected medical appointments. The donation process is just like donating leave to any other shared leave. It's pretty basic. If you have an excess amount of leave, the donation requirements are the same. Common times that people may donate leave include when they are near their anniversary date and their leave balances are at the use it or lose it stage, or when they're separating from state and they can't take their sick leave with them. We often get a chunk of donated leave at that point. So that's what I have to say about VISSLP. Does anybody have any questions about it at all? Nothing. Okay, that means that I was a really fantastic presenter, right? So I'm gonna put a couple things in the chat. The first thing is that we are always looking for feedback about our presentations and about the wellness fair in general. So if you can fill out this feedback form, that would be awesome. Carol, I see you typing. I hope it's a question. And then the final webinar of the day is at 3 o'clock. It is titled Problem with Alcohol, ? And it's presented by Alcoholics Anonymous. And I am going to give you the link to that webinar. Okay, just to confirm, anyone, state, federal employees can donate to this program, correct? Federal employees cannot. It is only for state employees, but that does include higher ed. So UW, community colleges, but it is not a federal program. It is only for for employees of Washington State. And that's the same for using it also. It's only for employees of Washington State. And then this webinar and all of our webinars are going to be posted on our wellness page, which is the link at the bottom that I just posted. And then we also have a wellness YouTube page that is going to have all of these webinars, plus all of our historic webinars from past wellness fairs and our lunch and learn. So we have quite a few videos on there if you want to go look at it. And then tomorrow we have our in-person wellness fair at Liquor Canvas Board. We combine with Liquor Canvas Board. It's from 10 to 1. Feel free to stop by, whether you're a state employee or not. Well, I mean, whether you're a state employee, whether you're a DVA employee or not, you are welcome to come and talk to 25 different vendors, get some puppy cuddles, get some kitten cuddles. We're having a blood drive also, and flu shots and B12 shots, and Foursquare competition. So it should be a fun time. And at the very least, come and get some swag. If the puppy and kitten cuddles are putting you off because you are allergic to puppies and kittens, let me know, and I will gather a swag bag, and you can and I'll get you the swag and the information so that you don't have to miss out on the wellness fair also. So okay, if there are no other questions, the next meeting is at 3 o'clock, so 4 minutes. Go and find out if you have a problem with alcohol or what to do for your friends who might have a problem. Thank you.